ever have life throw you a curveball, leaving you reeling in ways you never saw coming? That's what hit me all because of a busted fridge. Trust me, you'll want to hear how this crazy night unfolded. Sharing these stories feels like bearing my soul, and your support keeps me going. Hit like, subscribe, and let's dive into the madness. It started with a loud thud. I was cooking dinner in my Phoenix kitchen when the fridge groaned like it was giving up. Lights out, hum gone. I stood staring at the damn thing as if my frustration would fix it. Spoiler, it didn't. I grabbed my phone scrolling for repair services, but every quote was absurd, $300 just to show up. I muttered, hanging up on the last one, ready to chuck everything in the fridge and call it a night. Then came a soft knock at the door. It was my neighbor Frank, the quiet type, always keeping to himself, but offering a warm smile. He was older, maybe 57, silver hair, hands like they belonged on a craftsman's poster. "Heard some noise. Everything okay?" he asked, leaning against the doorframe, easy calm. "Fridge died," I said, waving him inside. "It's gonna cost a fortune to fix." He eyed the fridge, then me, thoughtful. "Mind if I take a look? Fixed a few appliances in my time." I hesitated, didn't want to impose, but his steady confidence made it hard to say no. "Sure," I said, stepping aside. He grabbed tools and got to work, no fuss. I lingered, pretending to clean the kitchen, but stealing glances. There was something about his hands, sure, steady, precise sleeves, rolled to elbows, showing strong forearms scarred from past projects. As he bent to check the wiring, his broad shoulders shifted under his shirt fabric, stretching in ways that shouldn't have been so distracting. "Looks like a wiring issue," he said, glancing at me with a small, knowing smile. "Won't take long." I nodded, but my pulse skipped. I blamed the heat in the kitchen, maybe the wine I'd poured earlier, but every time he leaned closer to the fridge, my cheeks burned. When he finished, the sun had sunk, casting a warm glow through the window. He wiped his hands on a rag, turning to me with a victorious grin. "Good as new." "Thank you," I said, genuinely grateful. "I don't know how to repay you." He waved it off. "Just glad to help." I glanced at the clock, late. "Stay for dinner?" I asked, hesitant but bold. His eyebrows lifted, surprise in his eyes, but he nodded. "If it's no trouble, I'd like that." Dinner was simple pasta, fresh salad, but the air felt anything but. We laughed, talked, his low voice weaving stories of carpentry, his quiet life next door. When I mentioned my gardening attempts, he chuckled, a sound that left me flushed yet at ease. At one point, I noticed a bit of sauce on his chin. Without thinking, I leaned across the table, wiping it off. The moment my fingers brushed his skin, the air shifted, heavy with unspoken tension. As we cleared dishes, his hand grazed mine, sparking a jolt up my arm. I looked at him, breath-catching, noticing his sleeves still rolled, forearms strong. His hands, rough but skilled, told stories of work and now maybe something else. "You're staring," he said, voice teasing. "What if I am?" I shot back, emboldened by the wine's faint buzz and the pull between us. His lips curved, a slow smile like dawn breaking. He stepped closer, the air crackling like before a summer storm. His hand rose, brushing my cheek, thumb tracing a warm path across my skin. My heart pounded. His eyes locked on my lips. "Trouble," I whispered, not accusing, but inviting. He didn't answer with words. His lips claimed mine, soft at first, exploring, then deepening with the waves' crashing force. His hands, those same hands so precise, with tools, settled on my waist, strong yet gentle, pulling me close. He lifted me effortlessly, setting me on the counter, my breath hitching as his hands cupped my hips. His lips wandered from my mouth to my neck, pressing warm, lingering kisses that set my skin ablaze. Each touch was deliberate, like he was mapping my every reaction. His hands roamed, tracing my curves with reverence, making me feel both cherished and desired. As his palms grazed my sides, I gasped his touch, igniting a spark that spread like wildfire. "You're dangerous," I whispered, gripping his shoulders, stunned by the strength beneath my fingers. "And you're irresistible," he replied, voice rough, raw. The tension surged, thrilling with every caress. His skilled hands explored like unwrapping a long-awaited gift. My heart raced, breath shallow, as his kisses trailed lower, each one a burning mark on my skin. We stumbled to the couch room, lit only by flickering firelight shadows dancing around us. He leaned over me, his weight pressing me into the cushions, grounding me in a storm of sensation. His lips returned to mine, but his hands— God, those hands were everywhere, gliding along my sides, my curves with a precision that made my body hum like a tuned instrument. His fingers brushed my thighs, coaxing shivers that rippled through me. "You're like fire," he whispered, breath hot against my skin. "I can't stay away." "You're the fuel," I managed, voice breaking as his lips found the hollow of my throat. Our connection burned brighter with each passing second. I lost track of time as he drew wave after wave of pleasure from me, each peak leaving me trembling, breathless. His touch pressed against me, a reminder of his strength, the fire simmering beneath. He didn't falter, his energy shocking for a man his age, movements deliberate, savoring every moment. His touch was both gentle and commanding, a contrast that held me captive. "You're full of surprises," I whispered, fingers tracing his jaw. He chuckled, a rich sound that vibrated through me. "I aim to please," he said, lips finding mine in a kiss that curled my toes. The night stretched on, hours melting into a haze of warmth and connection. When we finally collapsed together, tangled under a blanket on the couch, I was spent in the best way. His heartbeat steadied beneath my cheek, a rhythm lulling me into peace. Morning light filtered through the curtains, casting a soft glow across the room. I woke to the smell of coffee, the faint crackle of the fire. Frank stood by the window, broad shoulders framed by dawn's light. "Morning," he said, turning with a smile that crinkled his eyes. "Morning," I replied, stretching the night's events flooding back. My body ached, a strangely satisfying reminder of how he'd surprised me. We spent the morning sipping coffee, talking easily, naturally, like breathing. When he left, promising to check the fridge again, I couldn't help but smile. Ever had an encounter that flipped your world in the best way? Share in the comments. If you're hooked on these stories, hit like, subscribe. Until next time, stay open to life's surprises.